Good evening, guys, and happy Wednesday to all of your sunshiny faces. Happy Thanksgiving Eve to all you guys. It is going to be Thanksgiving tomorrow, and we did most of a large portion of all of our pre-cooking today. I told you guys how like a couple things got done yesterday, but most of everything got done today. My mom made jello. She also made like the like cinnamon toasted pecans sort of for dessert, and then also too I ended up making mac and cheese and the mashed potatoes, which I will say, guys, mashed potatoes, oh my goodness, they are so good. I had to clean the spatula, so I gotta have a little taste test there, and I ended up changing up the recipe just a little bit. I ended up adding the recipe I used is from the Taste of Home, like I think it's the Make Ahead mashed potatoes or something like that. I've used it before, but I normally wind up, I think it calls for onion powder. I normally end up adding a little extra garlic powder and garlic salt to it. Normally it's sort of more in substitution of regular salt. Plus also too, I used a full stick of butter. I think it calls for half of a stick of butter, but I also used more potatoes. I think they're really what it called for. It said 10 large potatoes. I think I honestly used maybe like close to 12 to 15, but I think it was closer to 15. It was a full 5-pound bag, which I think is normally what I use, but some of them were sort of smaller potatoes in the bag as well, so that's why, like I said, I think that's like I said, the 5-pound bag is sort of like average, like what they were, you know, they meant by, I think, 10. So, and like I said, I think I've done that pretty similar to, you know, that amount as well. So then it also calls for cream cheese and sour cream, and oh my goodness, guys, it was so good. And also too, the mac and cheese looked like it turned out really well, because honestly, sometimes I think for some reason I wind up sort of overcooking the like the milk, like not overcooking it because it doesn't like curdle, but like it's just, I think I got it to like the perfect amount of like more like liquid creamy and not like too thick, if that makes sense. So it was still like sort of like not soupy either. I don't want to say soupy, but I don't know how to describe it. Just like not quite as like the cheese sauce wasn't as thick. It was a little bit thinner, which I think that is actually going to taste hopefully better. But that I also made ahead. My dad made ahead his mashed potatoes. Matthew is making ahead his cheesecake right now, and trying to think what else we made ahead. Jack shredded the cheese as well. I also didn't completely cut all of the cheese up for the mac and cheese, or not, I'm sorry, not the mac and cheese, the cheese and crackers that we're going to do for the appetizers, but I did wind up, like because of the pieces that I was using, I was adding extra, like the different types of cheese as well. So I think I showed you guys when I got that cheese from, Jewel, not this week but last week I think it was. I got like a bunch of different kinds, like Colby Jack and extra sharp, and I think mozzarella, no, maybe I didn't get mozzarella, I don't know, again just like a mixture of different types of cheeses as well. And so I ended up adding that in to the mac and cheese, and then also too I topped it over with Ritz crackers and extra cheese, and then I'm going to bake it when we go to, you know, make the you know, Thanksgiving dinner. I will bake it just to sort of warm it up, even though it's already cooked, but just to warm it up. And then what I'm gonna also do is throw it in the broiler, so I get that toasty kind of cheese on the top as well. It's like always what I want on the mac and cheese, but I'm just like too lazy to wind up throwing in the broiler afterwards. I'm like, it's done, and like the cheese will be sort of like, again, sort of, I don't know, a little toasty sort of, I guess, if that makes sense, but like it's not like broiler like mac and cheese sort of. So then you throw it in for like a couple minutes, and then it's like toasty on the top. So like I said, I made that's just our normal mac and cheese recipe. And so like I said, I think mostly everybody got most of the stuff done. The green bean casserole, because there's really hardly any prep to that, and on top of that too, there's almost no like it cooks pretty much along with all of the other stuff that gets cooked for Thanksgiving. Like when we warm everything up, we will like just make that tomorrow, and I think the same with the stuffing as well. And those are the two things Jack's responsible for. So really the biggest thing that we're kind of, other than just the turkey, which we have to put in the roaster and stuff with things and put stuff on the outside and whatever. I'm not sure my mom's doing that. But other than that, the sort of the biggest thing that we're doing tomorrow really is probably going to actually be breakfast. But like you said, most of all the big stuff that involved like lots of multiple step process cooking and baking and all that kind of stuff, we already finished up tonight. So again, most of the other things that we're doing tomorrow is pretty easy. So I'm actually going to share with you guys what the refrigerator looks like, because it's kind of crazy in there right now. But I also want to share with you guys like a couple of things that I wind up doing that I found. I've been using this method, I guess, for probably like at least the last, I want to say 2, 3 maybe years or so, for like Christmas and Thanksgiving, any holiday where I need to prepare a lot of food that I need to keep cold in the refrigerator ahead of time. So like I said, like the mac and cheese, the potatoes, you know, all that kind of stuff. And normally we use, I told you guys, we do like the aluminum pans, and so that way when we're done with the stuff that we have from, you know, Thanksgiving, we can just wind up throwing the aluminum pans away, and it's less extra that we have to cook. Plus too, because the aluminum pans are sort of all the same size, and I'll show you guys one of my little, again, tips that I have. But since they are sort of the same size, it's easier to sort of stack and maneuver the, you know, I don't have like one giant baking dish that I'm trying to like put another smaller one on top of, and then I can't get to fit, and then there's not enough room, or there's too much extra room and space where I can't actually use or something like that. So like I said, let me share with you guys what the fridge looks like and sort of how I wind up organizing the refrigerator, like I said, the day before a holiday. So as you guys can see, this is what the refrigerator looks like right now. We've got the turkey chilling in here right now, my under $3.50 turkey. My dad has got the, what's it called, mashed sweet potatoes up there. That's Jello. That is apples, cinnamon apples in there. And then we also have leftover cookie dough, because my mom just made cookies, and I think we're gonna probably make cookies later in the week or so, probably to sort of start Christmas cookies, like later in the week, or you know, something like that. Because honestly, as soon as Thanksgiving is over, I like to sort of do like a different Christmas cookie very frequently, or some type of a different like little holiday dessert or something like that. So it's just sort of to get us in the holiday sort of Christmas spirit, and that way too we can sort of experience all of the different Christmas cookies without going super overboard and like making like a 12 batches of cookies all like, you know, 2 or 3 days before Christmas. So we normally, like I said, sort of build up, and then that way again we get to have all the different types of cookies and desserts and things like that, and candies that we want, but it's not all at one time right before the holiday. So biggest tip though for like preparing, you know, and storing is I saw this hack using the cookie sheets, because they distribute the weight so perfectly and so evenly that I can stack multiple aluminum trays on top of each other and use aluminum just to cover them, and then it doesn't take up extra space like by using like a lid, or you know, again, like, because these ones, actually the ones that we have, come with plastic lids, but they literally just about double the size. And so I was like, no, I don't need to do that, because I can just do this. So I'm able to distribute the weight and actually stack other things on top of it. So this is the mac and cheese down here, and then this is the potatoes, and I was still able to fit the thing of cookie dough on top of that. So that all ends up fitting in there, like I said, you know, pretty much perfectly. And again, because of these, I can distribute the weight also too, so that it's not just in the center, because you guys see how like this would just wind up falling right through onto my mac and cheese with just the aluminum foil on there. So this actually helps to again distribute the weight, stronger edges of the aluminum baking dishes instead, to help keep it so that again too it's not like bowed in the middle then, and then winds up, you know, like I said, on my all on top of my mac and cheese. So like I said, that is super helpful. And like I said, I saw that hack a while ago. I've been using it literally every Christmas and Thanksgiving and stuff like that, where we have a lot of stuff stuff. But as you guys can see right now, we've just kind of been throwing things wherever we've been throwing things just to get everything to fit in here currently, along with all of our regular just refrigerator grocery things too. The door is looking like a crazy hot mess right now. I'm not even going to share that with you guys because like I said, that's sort of crazy right now, but we'll be using those up for breakfast tomorrow. That's also our cranberry like relish in there, and then that's not the cheese, that's actually leftover cheese for doing another batch of mac and cheese, because I wasn't sure again if, you know, like doing Thanksgiving with family, what we were bringing and stuff like that. So I was like, I have an extra batch, but on all honestly, I'll probably wind up making it later in the week or something like that and do another batch of mac and cheese because I have all the ingredients for it anyway. But I always buy like them normally in bulk, so I've got like the big 2-pound thing of cheese, but I only used 1 pound of it, so that's why I have the leftovers. But I think I have the other cheese is over there. That's for the cheese and crackers because I got that prepped already. And then we have the bacon for breakfast tomorrow. And so that's mostly everything from the refrigerator. Like I said too, it was good because Matthew was able to use up some of our cream cheese for the cheesecake. But again, my mom's also got the stuff that we're stuffing inside of the turkey. Like we don't do the stuffing in the turkey. We normally wind up just doing it like on the stove or whatever, that way I can have it as well. But instead of that, we will normally stuff it with like celery, carrots, onions, that kind of stuff. So those, I think my mom prepped all that. And I showed you guys too how we've got sort of all of our extra, all the other things that we need for Thanksgiving as well as in here too. So I think my mom still has to make the like the fruit fluff dip or something like that. These are the rolls for tomorrow as well. And then we got the stuffing in there. Like I said, it's kind of all over the place. I got the pancake mix set aside. This was just all the stuff that I set aside that I knew that we needed for Thanksgiving. So I don't have to go digging through the cabinet. Like again too, I need this for breakfast tomorrow as well. For the biscuits and gravy, again, we're doing cheese and crackers. Plus I also need this for the mac and cheese. So like I said, I got all the stuff that I knew I was going to need for Thanksgiving all thrown in here. So I think I was sharing that with you guys the other day in my jewel haul on like Sunday, I think. I showed you guys that normally I do that again for a lot of the holidays too. When I know that we're gonna start like needing things, I start setting things aside and stuff like that. If I'm like, okay, you know, I plan on making maybe like XYZ Christmas cookies, I know we're gonna need chocolate chips, I'll probably take a thing of chocolate chips out of the pantry and put it in there, knowing that like that is to not be used for anything other than chocolate chips. So then again, if I go to make the chocolate chip cookies, I'm not trying to find it in the pantry. I don't find out that somebody else has used it. You know, like I said, whatever it is. Or also too, if I'm, you know, like, oh, I really want to make chocolate chip cookies and I realize we don't have chocolate chips, then I can make sure that we get them at the grocery store. But again, I will go through things ahead of time. So that's what I ended up doing with Jack on, I think it was Saturday. We ended up going through the pantries to figure out what stuff we had on our list that we needed for Thanksgiving, pulled stuff from the pantry, put it in our big Thanksgiving bin, and ended up, like I said, sort of going through everything that we already had so that we can compare and see what we still had to get at the grocery stores. So again, those couple things that, you know, and I showed you guys too, my Aldi haul was not very huge at all for, again, the handful of, you know, again, a few things that we really needed from the grocery stores. So like I said, those are some of my little sort of, I guess, tips for, I guess, somewhat keeping the holidays a little bit more organized. And again too, because like honestly, we could have went through the grocery list and just been like, oh, I don't know if we have that stuff in the pantry, you know, whatever, and not gotten it and then realized that we needed it, or else ended up going through and not looking to see if we had anything in the pantry, only to find out that we had this stuff in the pantry already. So like I was saying, that would have been unfortunate, and then you're buying like twice as much stuff because you didn't need it because you realize you already had it. But as I normally tell you guys too, I always buy stuff when I can get it as cheap on sale and all that kind of stuff as possible. You know, the lowest prices and everything, and with coupons and stuff like that. So if I'm buying stuff ahead of time, knowing like, I don't need this right now, I can again know that for Thanksgiving, for holidays, whatever it is, I might wind up needing that stuff. So, you know, and then again too, you know, I think I told you guys we were, I think, under budget or like right at our grocery budget anyway for a holiday week, which normally when there's a holiday week, I wind up paying way too much money. Like we'll wind up going, again, definitely over our grocery budget, and I don't think, like I said, we were like either right around or just a little bit even under, I think, of what we were, you know, planning on spending this week. And I think too, like net cost wise as well, because I told you guys I had a lot of the Ibotta offer deals and things like that that were going on too. All of that, I ended up, like I said, I think we might have been under budget, like net cost at least wise, which was really awesome. But again, that is why I'm always trying to buy things ahead of time and make sure that, again, too, like knowing that, okay, we have this stuff. We told you guys too how I got those pretzel rods, because like the big like pretzel rods, because or sticks or whatever they are, but those like the bigger ones that you normally wind up doing like chocolate dipped pretzels with, because again, we'll probably wind up making those for Christmas. And so I bought those ahead of time at Meijer, like again, this was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, knowing that we're probably going to wind up using them and make them for some type of like, you know, Christmas dessert, holiday treat, you know, again, something like that, even if it is sort of ahead of time. But I'm all for, as soon as Thanksgiving sort of over, like next week, like by like Monday or so, almost being like, okay, I want to start like doing a different dessert or Christmas, you know, cookie, or, you know, something like that, you know, almost every day. Because again, as I was telling you guys, it's more of like a, like, I'm always like, I really want that, I really want to try that or something like that. So again, it might not wind up lasting until Christmas, but so long as I at least get a taste of it, or a different recipe that maybe I haven't done, or something too that I haven't done in a long time that maybe I want to do, you know, I can do those earlier in, you know, like I said, you know, late November or early December even too. And like I said, they might not wind up lasting until Christmas, but at least that way we still get a little sample of some of those desserts. And like I said too, my thing is that we wind up sometimes making them like a week before Christmas, or like a couple days leading up until Christmas, and then it's so overwhelming that we have a million different types of cookies and desserts and all kinds of stuff, and it's like, we're never gonna eat this, or wind up even being able to share it with, you know, anybody, just because it's so much. And also too, since my mom's working this year, I feel like she can bring a lot of treats to work as well if we do wind up having too many leftovers. But that's why too, if I wind up, again, getting a whole pack of pretzels, where again, we might not wind up actually using all of them or eating all of them, and you know, I might wind up having leftovers. That's why too, if we do wind up having an excess of something, I can give it to my mom to most likely bring in for her co-workers as well. But that's just sort of, I guess, a blessing for us that we have, you know, again, a lot of extras in our, you know, grocery, you know, deals and stuff like that that we wind up getting, that we can, you know, sort of, like I said, do so much extras. And you know, again, especially for like the holidays, because to me, like, I love baking and cookies, and Jack's super into wanting to do Christmas cookies this year. I give to other people as well, and you know, share a lot of our, you know, like I said, our good deals that we wind up getting at the grocery store. You know, and like I said, all of those, you know, the cooking and the baking and all that kind of stuff as well. That's why we were doing so much zucchini bread when we got zucchinis from our garden, and we were bringing in, you know, my mom was bringing in loaves of zucchini bread every weekend to work. And so you know, like I was saying, that's just one of those things too, like for Christmas we've probably got a lot of extra, you know, again, ingredients that I get deals on and stuff like that, that I'll probably wind up having in excess of different cookies and desserts and all that kind of stuff that I can share with people as well. And you know, we can also again experience, but you know, that's the thing that's sort of tough, is when you're making a cookie recipe, even if you're sometimes doing one batch of cookies, it can still wind up being a lot, like that you're like, we won't eat all of these, you know. And so, but I still want to get, you know, I still want to sample some of those cookies for Christmas. So that's why too, it is fun to do like a cookie exchange with people as well. But again, when we have so much, again, extras that we wind up getting, that's why I like to do that, so that I can share with people. You know, like I said, if we have tons and tons of chocolate chips left over, that way I get to share them with, you know, chocolate chip cookies with people, and that way I can do a full batch of cookies and not have to be like, okay, well, like, we can only do a couple because, you know, a couple different types of cookies, or else we have to do smaller batches or something like that, because again, we're not going to wind up finishing all of them. So like I said, this year I'm looking forward to that. But I am gonna go hop in the shower and get to bed, because I'm tired and got to get up early for tomorrow for parade and breakfast and turkey cooking and all that kind of stuff. So I hope you guys enjoyed those couple little things that I had to share with for today. Like I said, my sort of sanity savers for, I guess, the holidays a little bit, and what I like to do with my cooking and baking and stuff like that. And you know, like I said too, my gathering bin of all of my stuff that I wind up normally having for, you know, you know, holiday meals. And like I said too, that's what I'll probably start doing for Christmas cookies soon too, is like if I know that I have something, you know, because again, if I put pretzels in the pantry, most likely they will probably wind up getting eaten. And if I was like, oh my goodness, I wanted to use those for something, then normally I have to go out and buy them, and then I didn't get as good of a deal, so then I might have to pass up on doing that dessert or whatever. And it sometimes really stinks though when I have all the other ingredients, but the one thing that ended up like getting eaten or used or something like that. And so that's why I will, like I said, start setting things aside for, again, if I'm like, okay, you know, we have this, we have that, might be what I want to use for a specific holiday dinner, or like I said, desserts and cookies, all that kind of stuff. So I will see you guys all in tomorrow's vlog. So if you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up. If you guys are new, we'd love if you'd subscribe, and I'll see all of your sunshiny faces tomorrow. So bye guys.